Evil Dead Burn. First look at Sébastien Vaniček's horror spin-off and production update. Picture this. Cracking open an ancient, cursed book and reading its words aloud. It's a recipe for disaster that never ends well in the Evil Dead universe. Now, with Sébastien Vaniček's new spin-off, Evil Dead Burn, cameras are already capturing that chaos, and we've got the first glimpse to prove it. If you're a horror fan, this is the kind of news that sends shivers down your spine, making you wonder just how much more twisted this franchise can get. But let's back up a bit. Sébastien Vaniček, the mastermind behind this project, has just shared on social media that filming is underway in the stunning landscapes of New Zealand. Along with the announcement, he dropped a sneak peek at the movie's official logo and a production still, giving us a taste of what's to come without spoiling too much. It's exciting to see the Evil Dead series evolving, especially since Vaniček isn't jumping straight into a sequel for the last hit, Evil Dead Rise. Instead, this is a fresh spin-off, meaning it's carving its own path in the horror woods, or should I say, urban jungle? Now, if you're new to Vaniček's work, he burst onto the scene with his directorial debut, Vermin, also known as Infested. This gripping film follows a group of people stuck in a dilapidated apartment building when a swarm of venomous spiders starts multiplying out of control. Think of it as a nightmare version of dealing with a pest problem, but with spiders that are not only deadly but also evolve rapidly, turning everyday life into a fight for survival. The movie was a massive hit, snagging Best Picture and Best Director awards at Fantastic Fest in North America. It even got a nod for Best Motion Picture at the Sitges Film Festival, and walked away with a special jury prize. For beginners, this shows how Vaniček excels at building tension in confined spaces, making ordinary settings feel extraordinarily terrifying. It's like taking a simple fear, such as arachnophobia, and amplifying it to extreme levels with clever storytelling and visual effects. Early last year, news broke that Vaniček was brought on board to co-write and direct this untitled Evil Dead project at the time. The studio labeled it a spin-off, which means it's not directly continuing the story from Lee Cronin's Evil Dead Rise, but it still taps into the core elements that make the franchise iconic, like those flesh-possessing demons. Plot details are being kept tightly under wraps, which only adds to the anticipation. But here's where it gets controversial. In a recent interview with Konbini, Vaniček shared his vision for the film. He told them, "I wanted to create something brutal and intense, a movie that challenges viewers and leaves them feeling drained, almost like a personal exorcism of my own fears." He's aiming for a cathartic experience, pouring all his inner horrors into this project. And he even joked that if it doesn't tank his career, he might step away from horror altogether. This approach could divide fans. Some might love the idea of pushing boundaries to make horror more raw and emotional, while others could argue that the Evil Dead series should keep its blend of scares and humor. And this is the part most people miss. Horror isn't just about jump scares. It's about evoking real emotions, and Vaniček's take might redefine what evil means in this context. On top of that, there's another spin-off in the pipeline from director Francis Galluppi, known for his work on The Last Stop in Yuma County. Details are scarce so far, but it's clear the Evil Dead universe is expanding in multiple directions, offering fresh perspectives on the classic curse. For context, the last main entry, Evil Dead Rise, shifted the action from the familiar woods to a bustling city, focusing on two estranged sisters whose family reunion turns into a demonic nightmare. Directed by Lee Cronin, it starred actors like Lily Sullivan, Alyssa Sutherland, Morgan Davies, Gabrielle Eccles, and newcomer Nell Fisher. The story dives deep into themes of family bonds tested to the breaking point by otherworldly forces, produced by industry vets like Rob Tappert, with executive producers including the legendary Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. If you haven't seen it, imagine taking the chaos of possession and cramming it into an urban setting. It's claustrophobic, relentless, and a big reason why the franchise remains a horror staple. So what do you think? Is Vaniček's plan for a nasty and hurtful Evil Dead movie the bold move the series needs? Or does it risk alienating fans who prefer the mix of comedy and terror? Maybe you're excited about the new spin-off directions, or perhaps you have a different take on how the curse should evolve. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear if you agree, or have a counterpoint that could spark some heated debate. Sébastien Vaniček's Evil Dead Burn filming begins. Details inside. Sébastien Vaniček's Evil Dead Burn has officially started filming. Exciting news for horror enthusiasts. The highly anticipated film, Evil Dead Burn, directed by Sébastien Vaniček, is now in production. This comes on the heels of the 2023 release of Evil Dead Rise, which you can read about in our detailed review here. https://www.joblo.com/evil-dead-rise-review. The rights holders of the Evil Dead franchise, including the legendary Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and Rob Tappert, have expressed their eagerness to expand the series further. Campbell has even mentioned their goal of producing a new sequel or spin-off every 2 to 3 years. Last year, they took a significant step towards this vision by bringing Vaniček on board, who previously made his mark with the French horror film Vermin, also known as Infested. Vaniček is set to both write and direct this new chapter, titled Evil Dead Burn. Recently, casting announcements have revealed that Sohaila Yacoub, a Swiss actress and former rhythmic gymnast who won the Miss Suisse Romande beauty pageant, will take on the lead role. She will be joined by notable actors such as Hunter Dewin, Your Honor, Lucianne Buchanan, the Night Agent, and Tandy Wright, Pearl. While specific character details remain under wraps, Vaniček has confirmed via social media that filming has officially commenced. Warner Bros. Pictures and New Line Cinema are set to release the film in theaters on July 24, 2026. A collaborative effort. The film is being co-financed by New Line Cinema and Sony Pictures, with Vaniček directing from a screenplay he co-wrote with Florent Bernard. Sony will handle international distribution, while Canal Plus will take care of the UK market and Metropolitan will distribute in France. Although the plot details for Evil Dead Burn are still a mystery, Vaniček has stated that he has full creative control and aims to infuse a unique French perspective into the film. Sam Raimi, the original creator of the franchise, is producing alongside Rob Tappert, with Ramel Adam, Jose Canas, Lee Cronin and Bruce Campbell serving as executive producers. In a previous interview with AV Club, Campbell emphasized that the focus has shifted to the books within the Evil Dead universe, moving away from the character of Ash Williams. He noted, "It's all about the books now. It has nothing to do with franchise hero Ash, or any particular character. In Army of Darkness, we first saw 3 books. So we know there are 3 out there, and none of them are any good. It's about, where does that darn book wind up, who gets it and what happens?" He also mentioned that the storytelling will evolve, aiming for a more frequent release schedule of every 2 to 3 years instead of the previous decade-long gaps. Vaniček's vision. In an interview with Variety, Vaniček expressed his fascination with the Evil Dead franchise, describing it as a creative playground for filmmakers eager to delve into raw and transgressive themes. He aims to create a fresh and meaningful narrative that resonates with both new audiences and longtime fans. His goal is to craft a powerful, personal story that stands on its own while still fitting into the intricate world established by Sam Raimi. Vaniček aspires to deliver a film that is rich in depth and nuance, ensuring that it connects with viewers on an emotional level. He wants audiences to leave the theater feeling as though they have undergone an intense and draining experience. A legacy of innovation. Sam Raimi's journey began with the original Evil Dead, which introduced Bruce Campbell as the iconic Ash Williams. Ash's character has since appeared in sequels and the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV series, with Raimi at the helm of these projects. Following the success of a short film by Fede Alvarez, the rights holders allowed him to direct the 2013 Evil Dead, which did not feature Ash. Lee Cronin was then brought in to create Evil Dead Rise, also without Ash, based on his impressive debut film, The Hole in the Ground. Vaniček's hiring to direct Evil Dead Burn right after his debut with Vermin/Infested aligns perfectly with the franchise's trend of giving new directors a chance to shape its future. More Evil Dead on the horizon. Interestingly, Evil Dead Burn is not the only project in the works. Shortly after Vaniček's appointment, the rights holders also enlisted Francis Galluppi, who recently directed the crime thriller The Last Stop in Yuma County, to write and direct his own Evil Dead film. Additionally, an animated series that continues the story of Ash vs. Evil Dead is also in development. Join the conversation. Are you excited about Evil Dead Burn and the fact that filming has kicked off? We want to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions in the comments below. Evil Dead Burn. New horror saga begins filming. It looks like the undead are gearing up for another round of terror. The Necronomicon, that ancient and cursed book, has reappeared, and it seems some brave, or foolish, soul has dared to recite its forbidden incantations, summoning the malevolent Deadites. After the success of Lee Cronin's Evil Dead Rise just 2 years ago, the iconic horror franchise is set to continue with a new installment, Evil Dead Burn. This time around, the film appears to stand alone, without a direct connection to the previous films in the series. Directing the chaos is French filmmaker Sébastien Vaniček, known for his recent cult favorite, the spider horror film Infested. Vaniček took to his Instagram to announce that filming on Burn has officially begun. While details about the plot remain sparse, expect plenty of possessions, chainsaw action, and buckets of gore. It's unclear how the story will connect, if at all, to the events of Evil Dead Rise, Fede Alvarez's 2013 reboot, or Sam Raimi's original trilogy. What we do know is that Vaniček co-wrote the screenplay with Florent Bernard. The cast features Hunter Dewin, who recently starred in Wednesday, alongside Sahila Yacoub, Lucienne Buchanan, and Tandy Wright. Production duties fall to the legendary Sam Raimi, alongside Bruce Campbell and Lee Cronin, ensuring that the spirit of the franchise remains intact. Evil Dead Burn is scheduled to hit theaters next summer, on July 24th. Given that Evil Dead Rise was a thrilling return to form for one of horror's most beloved franchises, fans are eagerly anticipating what Vaniček will bring to the table. Will he be able to match the visceral intensity and dark humor that made the previous films so memorable? And with Cronin currently working on a fresh take on The Mummy, the horror genre is looking more exciting than ever. So let's all chant together. Candor. By the way, our site might earn a commission or other compensation from the links provided. For more details, check out Why You Should Trust Us.